All right, welcome back to another episode of Philadelphia Eagles Talk with Geoff, off-season edition. Not a lot of Eagles news to talk about other than this. Very exciting news to kick off the show. Matt and I will be going to probably one of the highlight games on the schedule.
It's such
we will
a
be
struggle.
present at the Eagles-Rams game, week 3. Tell you, they go Dallas week 1, Kansas City on the road, and come back for the Rams, man. 3 tough games. But, man, super excited. Matt and I actually didn't get to a game last year for the first time in years. Wasn't going to let that happen again. So can't wait for that. That's going to be exciting, man. I can't wait for that one.
I think it's going to be one of the best games of the season, and it's going to have so much weight behind it when it comes to fighting for home field advantage. But I'm just saying, like, I think the Eagles, they just need to get to the playoffs. They're going to be the team you don't want to play when you get to the playoffs.
We both said that they might not have as good a record next year just because their record is so tough this year. But the entire division is tough this year, so I think the Eagles still win the division. But seeding-wise, I think is what you're getting at, Matt. They probably are, but I mean, who knows? But they're going to have a good team, but they're probably not going to get a number 1 seed because you're going to have some Detroit team or one of those other teams that have a far easier schedule might roll off 14, 15 wins. I don't think the Eagles are going to get 15 wins this year. Probably looking at 11, 12. Be realistic. We haven't gone through our predictions yet, but we'll do that in an upcoming episode. But bottom line is the Eagles or anyone that comes out of the East, if the Washington team either wins the division or finishes and gets a wild card, nobody's going to want to play them either because whoever comes out of the East, nobody's going to want to play those teams because they're going to be battle tested and ready to go.
100%.
So, but super excited. I've never been to the Rams. Got to check that off the list because I've seen Eagles play quite a few teams over the years. Rams, I've never seen them play the Rams, so that's going to be. And they're a great team, as we all know. They're the team that gave the Eagles the biggest challenge last year in their playoff run. Won't have to worry about any snow with a late September game. Should be perfect football weather, and so I can't wait for that already. That's just going to be an awesome weekend. All right, now Matt's idea he came up with. We kind of previewed it or kind of put a spoiler out there last episode. We are going to do a total team Eagles draft. So Matt and I are both going to draft an all-time Eagles team. Snake round, only two players here, but going to be snake order. We'll flip a coin, see who goes first, or whatever. I don't know how we'll do that, but and then we'll just do offense this episode to kind of keep it short. And then we'll do defense in the next episode. So you definitely want to tune in, want to look for your input as well. So let us know who, if we forget a player that we may not remember or whatnot, or just give us your, top team listed in the comments. It'll be interesting to kind of go over that and take a look at what you think. Matt, any comments before we get going?
Yeah, like one caveat would be, the Eagles have won 2 Super Bowls in the last 5 years. So that means a lot of all-time greats probably going to be coming off those 2 rosters. So for the historians that are out there, it's the recent success of the Eagles is what's kind of pushing some of the older, greater players a little bit further down the list, I would say. So don't be disappointed. That's why we're going 3 deep.
Probably especially on offense.
Yeah, that's why we're going 3 deep with the roster size for 11 player positions on offense. We're going 3 deep for everything except for the O-line. And then that way we're forced to just reach back a little bit further or maybe go to, homer picks. And by homer picks, I mean my favorite players of all time.
Yep. Whatever works. And then we'll compare and see how we do.
Yeah, I know there's some players that are on your all-time favorites. So some of them I didn't even bother writing down because I'm like, I'll let you pick that guy because I know it's going to get me my guy. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're going to pick first.
I guess we'll let me see if I've got a coin on me.
Flip a coin.
We'll do a live coin flip here. Just best out of 3 or whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is.
All right, whatever it is. Here we go. Here's the coin. Do it live.
You're flipping. I'm calling.
Hopefully I can catch this thing.
I'm calling tails.
Are you calling tails? Here we go.
I'm calling tails.
Survey says, and I'll show it to the camera. It is. Can you see it? I can't see it. It's disappearing on my screen. There it is. It is heads, I believe. It is heads.
It says,
So I'll have first pick. All right, first pick on offense. So we got to go by position. So what position order do you want to go first? Or does it matter?
Do we have to go position order?
I guess it doesn't matter as long as we go 3 deep in each position and 2.
Yeah,
we're going 2 deep on offensive line. So just 2 deep. So we'll have 10 offensive line players, and all the other positions we're going to go 3 deep. So I guess it doesn't matter what position, right? Because we're just filling out a roster.
Yep.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So where do I start? Jeez. Whew. I didn't think I'd have the first pick and how difficult it might be. Who do I want to pick as the first player? Got to put depth in the equation here. Man. With that being said, because offensive line is going to be difficult, I might just pick an O-line first.
That'd be nice.
That would be nice. That's going to be probably the toughest roster to fill out. So I'm going to go O-line first, and I'm going to grab Lane Johnson.
Interesting pick, first overall.
So there we go.
Pick. Yeah. Well, yeah, he is the greatest right tackle of all time. Well, I guess I have to follow you. So this is what'll be interesting about this little.
You don't have to.
Draft. No, I got it because there's only one other guy that was highly competent at right tackle, and I can't let you go too deep at that position. So I'm gonna have to go with John Runyon as my first.
Good pick.
Just because there's a run on right tackle.
There is. So started it. All right. So Runyon off the board.
I agree. By the way, it's hard to argue Lane Johnson's not the best right tackle in Eagles history, but John Runyon, I would say, is the number 2 guy.
Yeah, definitely. He was in the Eagles offensive line. For those of you who don't go back as far as John Runyon, the Eagles offensive line sucked for about 15 straight years until he became there, and then they started building the line. And he was really the top guy and the one that kind of picked everyone else's game up for those McNabb teams. All right.
Go there. I didn't expect to go there, but I'm going there. So let's see where you go.
I figured, you got to snag these guys that don't go as deep. So I'm still going to keep that in mind. And I'm going to go left guard or left tackle and grab Jason Peters.
See, I was thinking about Jason Peters, but would you go back to visit John Runyon so quickly? I don't know. But if you did, that would leave me a significant drop in talent. So you go left tackle with Jason Peters. Okay. I think he's clearly the top left tackle, but I see some guys there that I don't have to follow you on this one. I can let that one float a little bit. So I'm going to go with quarterback, and I'm going to grab Jalen Hurts.
Okay. Hurts off the board. That is probably the second slimmest position for the Eagles. They haven't had a lineage of great quarterbacks. So, man, you're going to allow me to maybe snag even another top O-line?
I got depth in the other ones. I did my research. I'm not worried about the other ones. Right tackle was the slimmest spot they had.
Yeah, it was. That's why I took Johnson. Where am I going to go here now?
The world's waiting. Where are you?
I'm going to go. Man. I'm going to go tight end.
Really?
Yeah. Because I think that's also if you're going 3 deep, that's going to be a skimpy position also, I think. So I will take Zach Ertz.
Zach Ertz. A good pick. Can't argue with that. Not bad at all. Right now I should just draft your favorite wide receiver of all time, make you trade somebody for him.
Don't do it.
Easily do it right here. Could do it right here.
These guys you like better.
And you will hate your draft. All because I got that one player. You'd hate your draft.
Right.
Well,
wide receiver is actually relatively deep, I think. So But yeah, there's a couple guys that I certainly would like to have.
Well, I'll tell
But
you.
hey, it's open season. You can take them if you want. It's your pick.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm gonna go quarterback twice.
Whoa, now this one could hurt me.
I'm grabbing Donovan McNabb. Boom.
Damn son of a gun. Yeah, that would have been my guy. Shoot. I didn't think you'd go quarterback twice. That threw me off now. Now
It's
I'm
like
in trouble.
the Eagles. You gotta go two quarterback.
Oh man. All right. Well, that's a great pick by you because now you hurt my team quite a bit there now. Pretty significant drop off now. I know a lot of people are. It just is. It just is. I know there's a lot of McNabb haters out there, but there's a huge drop off after him. All right.
Still a Super Bowl champion left to go with the quarterback.
There is. Wow. All right.
But you're gonna be sitting on QBs for a while.
Yeah, I would hope you wouldn't take a third quarterback, so I probably don't have to panic now and grab another quarterback. So I will, I'll let it ride there. That surprises me, though. It stings. All right, well, I will take who I still think is the number one wide receiver of Eagles history, although Brown is making a run at it. Mike Quick, I will take off the board at wide receiver.
Yeah. I didn't even write him down. I was like, I wouldn't have the heart to grab him from you.
Well, I appreciate that.
All right. Well, I guess you're going to go old school. I mean, I can't let you get Mike Quick and A.J. Brown. Because all time.
You can. You just got McNabb and Hurts.
Yeah. Harold Carmichael, though. A.J. Brown. Man. I'm going to go new school on you. I'm going to go A.J. Brown.
Okay. I mean, certainly that would have been pretty lethal if I got Quick and Brown. So that's a good steal for you there. Not steal, but I mean a good counter move. All right. I'm back on the clock here. Man, what do I do? All right, I got Ertz. All right, so I'm going to go offensive line again, and I'm going to pluck Brandon Brooks, right guard.
Yeah, that's a good one. Let's see. I start crossing some names off here.
I mean, my line's pretty freaking stacked, dude. Right tackle Johnson, left tackle Jason Peters, and right guard Brandon Brooks.
Yep. Well, I'm going to stay new school.
I'm not going to have as good a quarterback, but I'm going to have a great offensive line.
Well, you know what? None of those older Eagles quarterbacks played behind a good offensive line. So
that's true.
Maybe you maximize the value out of the QB position.
That's true.
All right. Well, I'll go with the second best left tackle of all time just because he hasn't played as long, but I'll go with Jordan Mailata as my left tackle.
Yeah, good pick. Good pick.
I got to protect my quarterbacks.
Yep.
Got the tackles bookended nicely. Back to you.
All right. I could really solidify and finalize this line almost if I decide to go there again. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm like Andy Reid, man. Building the line. We're going to go Landon Dickerson, left guard.
You know what? I had him rated number one as well. I did. But and we'll see how long his career goes. But I'll follow you there too. I'm going to go left guard Todd Hermans.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Good pick. Real good pick. You know what? I forgot about him. That's a good one. Long career, solid guy.
Yeah. One of the best guards in the Eagles' history. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, that was a good.
Arguably,
I think there's going to be some guys that slip through the cracks. He's one of them. That was a good pick. All right. Harriman's off the board. Back to me. Man. What do I do here? All right. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
We're gonna go Saquon Barkley. We'll take the running back.
Saquon Barkley, eh?
I am, eh?
One season as an Eagle, and you grab him.
You made him sound like he's like a Canadian or something.
Saquon. I just love. He's got one good season, and he's on the Madden cover.
Like, he is.
You're taking an all-time Eagle. That's a risk right there. All time.
Well, I mean, he's an injury risk, but you talk about talent. I mean, he's probably probably the most talented running back in Eagles history.
Yeah, he is. Well, I don't want to keep following your lead. So I think I'm going to go right back to the well and grab Harold Carmichael then.
Good pick. That's good. So you got Brown and Carmichael. Damn.
Yeah.
Carmichael would still he's still the tallest wide receiver in the history of the NFL. You know that?
Yeah.
To this day.
I mean, he's
still never been a taller wide receiver.
I don't know how he didn't have how does he not have the most touchdown receptions of all time?
Like, I know. You think they would throw a fade every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially back then, they didn't have that many tall corners.
Right.
All right. Geez, now you might make me have to go and I have to go into the wide receiver bucket now. Kind of force my hand. We're going to take, this is kind of a tough call for me. There's a few guys in contention here.
Yeah.
And I'll go with, you know what? I'm going to go with Smitty. I'll go with the Slim Reaper.
I had Smitty number 3 on my total top rated. Good pick. Let's see. Where do I want to go? I got a right tackle, got a left tackle, got a left guard. Right guard. I don't even want to decide for center. It's almost like I'll take whatever you don't take, because the top 2 are about equal.
Yeah.
Secondary status. So maybe I'll just hold off on that. I'll let you I'll grab my guy after you grab yours. I'm going to leave center alone. Let's see. Who do I need? Don't need a QB3. Let's go with I'm going to sit on the O-line a little bit longer. You went with Smitty.
I think I know who my next pick is, unless you throw me off my plan here.
I think skill-wise, there's one player that's clearly above everybody else. So I'm going to grab LaShawn McCoy as my starting running back.
Good. Excellent pick. Excellent pick. Right now, he is the best Eagles running back of all time. Right now, he is. I mean, in terms of career. Good pick. Really excellent pick. It would have been nice to get Barkley and McCoy. That's not happening. But here's I'm going to do something here, because I'm going to be a little sneaky move and put a little pressure on you at this position.
Oh.
So here we go. My number 2 tight end.
Oh, no.
Keith Jackson.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine. I had Keith on my list, but I had 2 guys I would have, actually had several above him. I love Keith.
Really? You had several above him? I think he's, talent-wise, I think he's probably the after Ertz. Although Goddard's obviously very good, but I'm going to go Jackson over Goddard.
Yeah, you got, there's the tight end.
There's still some guys there, but I'm like, trying to
Eagles are actually stacked at tight end. You could probably go 10
They have
deep.
some decent tight ends. They have had good tight ends in their career for sure.
Yeah. I only wrote down my top 6, and which didn't include guys like Mark Bavaro and
that's true too. Yeah, I didn't even think about Bavaro, but yeah. But I don't know how are we going to do this though? Are we doing it just career as an Eagle, or are we doing like a guy like Bavaro is like a perfect example where he was just okay because it was the end of his career as an Eagle. So is that the Bavaro you're drafting, or are you drafting the career Bavaro who had a lot of great years with the Giants?
No, it basically starts there, but the Eagles had nobody at QB when they had Mark Bavaro. So even though his knees were going and stuff, like tight end doesn't need to move fast, but no, I think so. That's interesting that you got Jackson there, because I'm going to chill on tight ends then for a little bit, because I got 3 guys all in the same boat there. Which makes me want to go.
Oh, so it just had the opposite effect on you then.
It
I
kind
was
of
thinking it put some pressure on you to draft one, but now you're like,
no. I had him at number 6 out of the 6 guys I wrote down.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's going to let me steal a running back or wide receiver here. Huh. Well,
I know who my next wide. Well, maybe not.
I'm going to take Brad Westbrook. He's another skill fan.
Yeah, definitely Mr. All-Purpose, do everything.
Yeah, right? Game saver.
Yep.
This is also my punt returner, by the way. We're not drafting those spots, but
one more. Oh, yeah. We going to do place kicker or no? I don't know. How about we just draft one kicker?
I almost wrote Coy Detmer down just so he could be my
just for his fake field goal. He was the best at that, man.
Yeah. You know what? I guess we should add a kicker.
Yeah, we'll do kicker. We won't do punter. We'll just do one kicker. All right. All
right. I got Westbrook.
You got Westbrook. I'm gonna go, man. I think I can wait there. All right, I'm going to go for my number 3 wideout, which will round me out for wide receivers. I will take Fred Barnett.
Ooh, see, I love Fred. Fred's one of my favorites. Fred's one of my favorites. Yeah, I had Fred. If he never tore up his knee, man, he would have been awesome. Same with Mike Quick, right? Barnett and Quick both had knee injuries.
Yeah, they did. Especially Quick probably cost him the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Actually, it did cost him the Hall of Fame. He was definitely in a Hall of Fame receiver. All right. You're on the clock.
I'm on the clock. Let's see. Quarterback number no, I'm just kidding.
Oh man. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with God. Such an explosive player, but he could get shut out of the games. Totally shut down. But can you shut him down if he's got A.J. Brown and Harold Carmichael on the field? I don't think so. Deshaun Jackson.
Oh, good pick. Well, you know what? You got the 2. Well, at least you got McNabb who could throw the deep bomb to him. And they're both pretty accurate downfield. I mean, Hurts has definitely gotten better downfield now. But McNabb's always was lethal downfield.
Yeah, he played with Jackson for 1 season. It's terrible.
Yeah, you know what? Man, good pick by you because believe it or not, and I just, I got home just before we jumped on here, but I was working on this earlier today when I had a few minutes.
Yeah.
I forgot about D-Jax. That's like a cardinal sin on my part. Good pick. I probably would have taken him over Barnett probably. So good pick there. You did snag a good guy. Good pick there, Jackson.
The only problem was he was taken out of some games completely.
Yeah, sometimes he was completely taken out, but there's no better deep threat in NFL history. I mean, he's proven it. He's got more 50-yard plus touchdowns than anyone. All right.
Just cross that goal line before you let go of the ball.
Yeah, that's
do with him.
All right. Well, what do I do here? Let's take quarterback. We'll take Randall.
Yeah, he's my number 3 guy.
We will take Randall off the boards.
You would have been pissed if I took Randall and just stacked my quarterback spot.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That would have been torture. That would have been absolute torture.
Take Randall. All right. Back to you.
He's still one of my all-time favorite Eagles.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Unfortunately, you learned how to play quarterback when he was in Minnesota, not in Philly.
All right. So when it comes to skill sets, on offense, I see one more explosive player on the board.
I see 3 more.
I'm going to go with the first running back after Wilbert Montgomery to make an impact on the Eagles. They had Ricky Waters.
Why don't you take Wilbert then? He's still there.
Wilbert's there. I figure you're more of a Wilbert guy.
Yeah, I am a Wilbert guy. But
I remember being so happy that the Eagles had Charlie Garner. So I'm going to go Charlie Garner.
No, don't take Charlie.
Charlie Garner.
No, I never thought you'd take him this early.
I'm going Charlie. He's one more explosive player. He's the most explosive player.
He's the most explosive running back the Eagles have ever had.
Charlie.
I mean, even I can't. It's hard to say that after Barkley's season, but maybe not now. But
and they only had years.
But damn it,
the Raiders.
Damn it. That one hurts. That one hits the heart. Dagger right through it. Charlie Garner is one of my favorite Eagles of all time.
Yeah. Don't worry. Heath Sherman's still available.
Hey, it's a good pick. It's just I didn't expect you to grab him this early.
Yeah. No, I'm just looking at
anybody who doesn't know about Charlie Garner is probably a lot out there because he had a short career with the Eagles. He just couldn't break the lineup, and he had a couple injuries early in his career. Eagles let him go. He ended up going to the Raiders and having one of the greatest running back seasons in terms of total yards you're ever going to find. He rushed for over 1,000 and had like 900 yards receiving. That's the type of back he was. And he was always a breakaway, cut and slash, had moves like Barry Sanders. And he's one of the few running backs I would ever compare to Barry's cutting ability.
He also was unstoppable in either the 94 or 95 Joe Montana football Sega game.
Yeah.
Like you could run him backwards. It was like that's the only running back video game wise that is actually equal to the Bo Jackson of Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah.
Charlie Garner and Joe Montana football, you couldn't stop him. I would run backwards 50 yards before I started running forwards.
I got
a deep back staff.
Yeah, great pick. There's probably not a lot of people are probably like, ooh, watching this, but go to YouTube, punch up some Charlie Garner highlights, and you'll see exactly what Matt and I are talking about. That one stings. It stings almost as much as when I think it was Ray Rhodes let him go.
Why would he have done that?
All right. Well, I'm going to have to take my boy Wilbert Montgomery now that Charlie's off the board.
Wilbert Montgomery.
So Montgomery and Barkley are my two backs so far. I would have loved to sprinkle in Garner into that mix, but Matt stole him from me. Okay, back to you.
I'm going to take him off the board. He's been sitting too long at this point. I'll get my tight end, Brent Selleck.
Okay.
Love Brent.
Cross him off the list. Oh, yeah. A solid tight end, good blocker, clutch catcher. Can't complain much about Selleck at all, especially this deep into the draft to be able to grab him. All right. Well, let's finish off the offensive line. At least for the first string.
Who's it going to be? Chuck?
Right now, I've got my full line there except center.
Chuck or Jason?
So I will take Jason Kelce.
Kelce. All right. Well, I'm not letting you get two centers. So
talk about a huge drop off after this next guy.
Chuck Bednarik is going to play center for my.
Oh, I didn't even think about him. I'll tell you. So you are leaving me a good center then, but I wasn't thinking about the 60-minute man.
Chuck,
man, Matt's pulling another one. Tell you what, I got to give Matt credit for that one. A lot of credit for that one.
Two-way player. I also get him.
Gets a Hall of Fame center. I mean, I got a Hall of Fame center too, but I wasn't thinking about that. Now, this does not mean that he's on your defense. Just for clarity.
Well,
he's back in the defensive draft
as a linebacker.
As a linebacker.
Concrete Charlie.
I mean, we didn't establish that rule technically because I forgot we have a hybrid Hall of Fame player on this team.
Yeah.
I mean, technically you could have them on your defense before we start the draft, but we'll put them back into the defensive draft. All right. Great pick, obviously. Say no more. Nothing more to say about that pick, except incredible choice. But here's where I'm going to hurt you, because now there's a huge drop off after this next one. I will take as my backup center, Jurgens.
Yeah, there's a huge drop. I had him written number 3, Cam Jurgens.
Yeah.
That leaves. I have one guy written as number 4, and I'm not drafting.
There is one guy, but he's a drop off.
Yeah, I'm not drafting him here. I mean, if I have to, I'll go get Hank Fraley in the last round.
Hank Fraley. Who was at least a solid player.
He was a guy
that played over his talent.
Way over the ceiling. Yeah, he was above his ceiling.
Yeah, he played above his ceiling, for sure. Yeah.
Hank Fraley. All right, yeah, Jurgens, I would have come back.
Talk about the most non-athletic player. Yeah, he held up against he held up. I guess it's just
held up. Yeah, he did. Probably because Donovan was running around, but that's fine.
Yeah, Donovan had to do a lot of running, but
you already grabbed Brandon Brooks, right?
I did.
Make sure I cross off one more players here. Okay.
Well,
now what?
So I've got 4 more offensive linemen to go. But my freaking starting 6, starting 5, and then my backup is about as elite as it gets.
It is. I would give the uptick to you for O-line. But when I read you my starting lineup, you'll realize that's fairly worse. All right, I'm going to grab as a right guard, just so I can fill out my roster here before I start missing people. I don't want you to get this guy, otherwise I'm going to have a hole at right guard. I'm going to go with Sean Andrews at right guard.
Sean Andrews. Go had a good short career.
But
very good when he was here.
The most talented lineman on that line when he played in the interior.
Yeah, he had like 3 good seasons, then just away because he got hurt. Didn't he have like a neck problem, like some neck or shoulder issue, something?
Yeah,
like that?
Back maybe.
He didn't play anymore. Yeah. All right, back to me, right?
Yes.
So I'm done at wideout.
You can always go deeper, right? So, like, as long as you got 11 starters, you can always go with a 4th receiver, or because there's
if you mean a 4th receiver instead of a 3rd tight end, something like that.
Exactly. Yeah, you've got generally, somewhere in between a real roster and a fantasy roster. You need one quarterback on the field, but you're generally gonna have a running back, and then that position that's either fullback, halfback, or wide receiver. Like, there's that 11th position basically. Could be those offensive skill players.
I will take my number 2 quarterback. And that'll be.
See, this is interesting because I think a lot of people that would agree up till this point. But this is very interesting. This is why we have it 3 deep. So who are you going?
It's good to surprise you.
We have Jaws. We've got Super Bowl champion Foles. We've got
my number 2 quarterback will be Michael Vick.
I had him as number 6 on my list. At Foles and Jaworski rated above.
I don't know why I have 2 of the all-time greatest scrambling quarterbacks with this offensive line. If there's a time to draft the most stationary, can't move quarterback, I could actually do it. But
you could have had Ron Jaworski.
That's true. I could have drafted Jaws. That would have been
exceptional behind that offensive line.
Well, in case anyone does get through, my quarterback can get away.
Yeah. All right. Good pick. Vic off the board. Let's see. These other backup spots are going to be fun to just talk about. So
this is when it's going to start getting real interesting.
Let me back up my offensive lineman here just in case. Give me Trey Thomas.
That's a freaking huge value pick right now. That was my next pick, actually. So good job there. And I mean, at least from what I'm thinking, what I got left, I think there's a big, huge drop off after him. I think it kind of goes to a different notch now. So good job. He was the last kind of, all-star guy that I can think of.
An old schooler, an old school
There's
guy.
an old schooler. I know what you're talking about.
Yep.
But I didn't see him play.
I didn't either. No,
but I saw Trey play,
Yep.
I know what you're talking about. Okay. Well, tell you what, our defensive draft is going to be a lot of fun to do.
Dude, the D. The reason we're doing offense first because it's a little bit more difficult. The all-time defensive players for the Eagles, you could probably go like 4 or 5 deep on the roster. Like, it's crazy how much talent
they've had tremendous defensive players.
Cornerback position alone, you could go probably 7 or 8 deep.
All right.
And you have all Pro Bowl players starting. Like, it's crazy.
Well, where do I go? I'm trying to think now to do exactly what we were just talking about. Take one extra wide receiver or take a tight end. There's still 2 really good tight ends out there.
And there's one player who played tight end. Even though that's a real position.
Huh?
I'll let you know because I'm going to draft
a player that played tight end
for 1 season or one 3/4.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. I didn't think about that as a tight end, but I think I know who you're talking about. Where do I go here? Trey's off the list. Got to cross it. All right.
Oh,
well, I'm going to go offensive line again. And I want to take, I'm going to butcher the hell out of his first name. It's like Hamamantu Vaitai.
Vaitai.
I'm going to take Vaitai as he's kind of a flex guy.
He played left tackle. He
did play tackle, so he was good. Ended up signing a huge contract with I think he went to the Lions.
I thought he went Steelers.
Steelers? Maybe it was Steelers. Yeah,
Oh.
It was Steelers, I think. Yeah. So I'm going to go Vaitai here.
I like it. I like the pick.
Let's see. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You didn't want to go Brian Baldinger?
He's on my list. He was a little bit better than maybe Hank Fraley. He looked good because he played with a horrible offensive line. But he wasn't bad. I mean, listen, when he was starting to get down into the depths, he's not a bad pick. 2, 3. I'm just trying to see how many I have now. 1.
He's got the most broken fingers next to Chuck Bednarik.
Yeah, he does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, so I have I have 7. So I need 3 more offensive linemen.
I may not even get around to drafting one of my favorite Eagles of all time because I see talent at other positions.
Go ahead, you're up.
Is it my pick?
Yeah. I just picked Vaitai.
Oh, Vaitai. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Well. Isn't Pete Retzlaff in the Hall of Fame?
I think so. He's tight end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also one other one that's in the Hall of Fame. It's another old timer.
Yeah. Not a tight end, though.
Yeah, he is.
Is there? Oh.
Yeah. Goes back before Retzlaff, or I think he was before Retzlaff.
Yeah, Retzlaff just passed away recently, too. God, who was that guy's name? I can't think of him now.
All right, so you got Retzlaff. Is that who you're taking?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Retzlaff.
Okay.
Because I didn't see him
taking him over Goddard, though, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he is a Hall of Famer, so.
Goddard's
not quite a Hall of Famer.
I'm going to go with Pete. Retzlaff.
All right, Retzlaff off the board. All right, time for my third running back.
Dun, dun, dun.
And it's not Heath Sherman, by the way.
There's a Hall of Famer in that stable of run backs, too. Still a Hall of Famer there.
Yeah, there's a borderline Hall of Famer guy I'm considering. Oh, yeah, I know you're talking about. I don't, believe it or not, I probably should pick him. Not going to, though. I'm just going to stay more my era of football. I'll let you have him. That'd be a great pick, though.
If I need him.
If you need him. I should probably take him. I wasn't thinking about him. Now, I'll go more modern era. I'm just trying to figure out which one out of these three.
All right.
There's one guy who was a really good player, but I wasn't really a fan of him. The other guy, all the talent in the world, but never really lived up to the billing. And I can say that about the other one too.
If you take Heath Sherman, I'm going to punch you in the face.
I'm not. I said I want. I wasn't. It doesn't go deep enough. If this went 5 deep, Heath would be on there. Loved Heath Bar. I've never seen a running back to this day run with such a low center of gravity.
Right.
If I was a defensive player, I wouldn't even try to tackle him. I would just take my hands and push on his back, and he would have went right down the ground. That's how he ran. Dang, do I want to go running back? I guess I will. All right, so I will take, man, this is really a coin flip. Guy that had a better all-around player. I'll end up going with Ricky Waters.
Ricky Waters.
Even though I wasn't a huge fan of him, but in terms of a guy that was multi-purpose, kind of like a Westbrook almost, catch the ball really good at backfield when he wanted to catch it, that is. Just don't throw it to him over the middle.
For what?
For who? For what? I'll take Ricky Waters. Now, that would have been my Garner pick, and I would have taken Garner sooner, but once Garner went off the board, I really was willing to wait for my third running back. So I'll go with Ricky.
Going Ricky over Deuce, eh? Leaving Deuce off on the bench for now?
Only because, again, I think he was a better all-around, all-purpose running back than Deuce.
He was. Skill set-wise, he was.
Yeah.
Yep. Deuce was another kind of overachiever. Like, we got the max.
Yeah. And a great player. I mean, Deuce was great. Deuce had some great seasons.
He's fun to watch.
And he was a guy who played with a lot of heart. That's really, like, Deuce was, like you said, he outplayed his talent because he just played with a lot of heart,
Yep. All right. I'm going to go with my backup right tackle, who's an older guy. And I'm going with Jerry Sizemore.
Yeah. Good pick.
Which leaves your favorite player, one of your favorite offensive linemen. I don't know if you're going to remember this guy, but he's one of your favorite players of all time. Still on the board at right tackle.
Wait a minute. Now you got me thinking. I'm not thinking. It's definitely not on my list because I'm like scraping the bottom of the barrel right now.
Yeah. Talent-wise, I'm not sure where he ranks because he played in all those 80s teams.
One of my favorite?
Oh, yeah. He's one of your favorites.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. He was pretty good. What was better about him, I know what you're talking about.
He had a special set
probably the offensive lineman with the biggest mean streak of any. I know you're talking about.
Prior to John Runyon.
Yeah.
He's on my list, but I took Sizemore instead because Sizemore was longer.
Sizemore was, yep. All right, Sizemore's out. I'm trying to remember the freaking guy's name.
Kind of sounds like Old Yeller.
Ah. Yes. Yeah. I was going to say, I thought his last name started with H. I was going to say that.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to just take him because I'm at the bottom right now, and he was just for the attitude. He's a guy who was again the best offensive lineman on those teams, but that was a very low bar.
Very low bar.
I'll take Ron Heller, who we're talking about.
Ron
Heller, number 73, I think he was.
73, yeah. And I've never seen an offensive lineman wear his like shoulder pads. He had like a gladiator's like shoulder pads.
Yeah, he was definitely a mean streak player.
I love it. Ron Heller makes the all-time.
He made my team. Made my all-time team.
Give me, you know what?
Thank God we're not going 3 deep on offensive line. Man. I don't. We would be drafting guys like, God, I can't even think of any that were terrible. Who was their number 1 bust tackle they took that one year? Anthony Davis. Antoine Davis. Huge bust. They had a few of them. There was a couple other guys I'm not thinking of right now. They took in the first round were terrible.
Let me go. Let's see. At left guard, I'm going to go Jermaine Mayberry.
Ah, good pick.
Who got kicked out?
He was better than Ron Heller. I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
Jermaine Mayberry.
I just needed to have Heller on my team.
Yes.
Yeah, good pick with Mayberry.
I got 2 tackles, 2 left guards. Need backup center, backup right guard. Huh.
I will take my 3rd quarterback just because if you ever need your 3rd guy, there's not a better 3rd guy to have than Nick Foles.
I was going to take him, but I thought I might sleep on him one round, so now I'm a little bent.
Now I'm taking Foles.
I could have sat off without Jermaine Mayberry there. And why not? Why not go for Nick Foles? You need some Super Bowl champion caliber on your roster.
Well, you do. You got Hurts.
I know. I was going to double up.
Yeah.
Nick Foles is still just an enigma. All of his greatest games as a Philadelphia Eagle. Anywhere else, can't quite cut it.
Can't play anywhere. Kansas City, huge bust. Rams couldn't even start on the team.
Broken chest.
Jacksonville got hurt. He comes back to Philly, wins the Super Bowl.
He throws 7 touchdowns in that game against the Raiders.
He played 3.5 quarters. Didn't even play in the 4th quarter that game. He threw 7 touchdowns.
His cleats are next to Peyton Manning's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and that year he had like 28 touchdown passes and 3 picks. Insane.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. All right. Well, there's a lot of talent at one skill position remaining. Yeah, there's 2 of them, really. A couple. I can grab the other Hall of Famer at wide receiver. What do I do? Do I put 2 tight ends on the field, or do I put 4 wide receiver sets? How many total players you got?
I didn't count them all, but hang on.
I'm at 19. And you picked.
I'm at 19. 19 also.
This must be the. Well, how am I at 19 and you're at 19? You drafted first, right? And it's my pick.
I should be at 20, right?
Yeah, you should be.
Unless it's my pick. Did you make a pick?
No, not yet, because you just grabbed Foles.
I must have missed somebody here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
You write Ron Heller's name in, or
I'm on 19. I got 19. You sure you don't have an extra guy?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Sorry, I'm on 18.
Yeah, geez.
I count. All right. Well, give me. I'm going to go with my back. No, I can wait for him. You're not going to. You already got your backup center, Cam Jurgens. Yep. So let me go with my last guard. 1-year wonder, maybe, but I'm going to grab Mekhi Becton. Come over here and play guard.
Well, again, we're going by Eagles' career. Damn good. Go by Jets' career, and they got a gaping hole there.
Yeah, true. But He's now a graduate of Geoff Stoutland University. So I expect big things.
That's true. Now he's a Stoughton University grad.
All right, back to you.
Becton off the board.
20.
Yeah, this is when it comes down to the nitty gritty here. Do I go 2 tight end offense and pick up another wide receiver?
There's basically 3 picks left, right? 3 picks left.
Well, I have to. My whole line, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so I got 2 more on offensive line. I need 1 more positional player. Yeah, and a kicker. So there's only 3 more.
Well, there's 3 more plus kicker.
There's 3 more plus a kicker?
Yeah. If we're sticking with basically having 3 slots for everybody except for.
Oh, yeah. Yep, you're right. Yep. Yeah, because I need 2 more offensive line. So
basically 4 more picks, including kicker.
Yeah. I think we know who our kicker is going to be. You get one, I'll get the other. There's really only 2 choices.
Paul McFarland.
There's really only 2 choices.
Tony Franklin wasn't bad. Yeah. Didn't Dempsey kick the Eagles, scout the club foot?
Yeah, he did. Paul McFadden.
Paul McFadden was terrible.
All right.
Special teams. Like, my special teams is my defense. All right.
Man, we're leaving a Hall of Fame. Did you pick your 3rd running back yet?
Yeah, I got 3.
You do?
Yeah, but I still have 1 pick for a skill player on the offense.
Yeah, but you can't use a running back
for tight end. I haven't decided yet.
Right, but I'm just saying we're leaving a Hall of Fame running back and didn't make our list.
There's a Hall of Fame wide receiver that's not on the list either.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yep. Played in the same era.
Yeah.
On the same team. Matter of fact. So why don't we draft them? That's what I'm actually thinking about. Like, where do I go here? I will take them, actually. I'm going to play a 2 tight end offense. I'll pass on the other 2 tight ends that I have on my list, even though they're both would be steals for you. And I'm just going to end up going with an extra wide receiver, and it's going to be Tommy McDonald.
Oh, you're going extra wide receiver? I thought you were going to go extra running back.
Nope.
Tommy Mack off the list. Yep.
Tommy Mack. Great hands. Going to be a dependable guy on those 3rd down slants, or he could even catch the deep ball, even though he wasn't tall. We'll go with Tommy Mack. Hall of Fame wide receiver.
Well, I can't leave.
There's one guy that has to be on the list, or people are going to watch this and be like, you can't have an all-time offense and not have this guy on your list. So someone needs to draft him.
No, you know what? I'm looking at my running backs. I got McCoy, Westbrook, Garner. They're all shifty, can catch stuff, but they can't bulldoze the line and run with power. So I'll go with Steve Van Buren.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be on the team.
Has to be. I was thinking either that or we draft.
Take him over Ricky Waters. I just wanted a. I don't know. I don't know. wasn't able to watch his career, so I just wanted a guy that I know can catch out of the backfield. I'm not sure if Van Buren did, but you want to talk about one of the best, greatest running backs of all time. He's him, so got to be on the team.
SVB. All right, cool.
So you drafted an extra running back instead of wide out and tight end?
I did. So I've got 3 wideouts. I got 4 running backs.
Okay.
2 tight ends. And I will be drafting my last lineman here to give me at least 2 deep on all positions soon.
All right. Kill some time here for me for a second, because I have to look up this guy, because I forgot his entire name. I shouldn't have, but I know my next pick is.
What position you going?
Offensive line.
Interesting. We'll have to do honorable mentions.
I just can't remember his name. He just died recently.
I think I got him. I think his initials are BB.
Yep, Bob Brown.
Yep.
That's what I was trying to think his name. So I will draft Bob Brown, and I have one more offensive lineman to go.
All right. This is my last offensive lineman here. I'll grab my backup center. Actually, you've already got center, so I can wait till last to do that one.
By the way, Brown was a tackle, so he's a tackle depth.
Yeah, left tackle. I had him written down as a left tackle. All right, well, I guess I gave up my third tight end position became Steve Van Buren. So that one's off. So I've got 2 picks. Backup quarterback. You know what? I've always liked Jaws. Give me Jaws.
There's nobody else really. Who else can take over him?
Norm Van Brocklin.
Maybe him, but I think Jaws was a better quarterback.
Got the piss beat out of him.
Jaws, that's what I mean. If nothing else, he might have been a lot better than even he was because he got his ass kicked quite a bit, courtesy of a lot of it was Lawrence Taylor. But I remember Taylor just basically killing him in a game. Jaworski, being as tough as he was, stayed in the game. He had like 3 broken ribs. I mean, he was just getting totally destroyed by Taylor.
All right. And that leaves my last pick and a kicker is all I got left. So
all right. Well, my last pick is also got to be my last offensive lineman. So I'll take another Hall of Famer because he just wasn't the ones I was thinking about, but there's actually another Hall of Fame offensive lineman that's out there.
Is it really?
Yeah. So I'll grab him. My offensive line is sick.
Yeah, it is.
Al Weezert.
Uh-huh.
So another tackle. So I'll have Bobby Brown backing up Jason Peters, and Al Weezert will back up Lane Johnson. 2 Hall of Famers backing up those guys. It's pretty good.
I will grab
Al Weezert.
Another warrior from the bad offensive lineman era. But the guy played almost every week. David Alexander will be my backup.
Good pick. I had him on my list, and he was going to be my next pick until happened when I saw Bob Brown. Yep. They mentioned Al Weezert too. So I was like, well, I'm not going to take Alexander. But Alexander was another guy that played above his talent.
Yeah.
So he was good. Team player. Busted his ass out there. Yeah.
Played for a long time.
It's a good pick. Yeah. Yep, we did.
All right. Kicker time.
All right. So down to kickers, and we called an evening here on Philadelphia Eagles Talk with Geoff. Make sure you like and subscribe, like I said. I will go, and here's the thing. It's a tough one for me because I do think Elliott is the better kicker, but it's debatable. Because freaking Akers was amazing. But because Akers, when I turned 50, gave me a cameo shout out, courtesy of one of my friends, and wished me a happy birthday, I will go with David Akers. But it's really a coin flip for me between those 2 guys. But Akers will be my kicker.
And that leaves me, Paul McFadden. So I will go. No, kidding.
Yes. All right. Well, we'll change the rules, then I can take another kicker. And I'll have Akers and Elliott.
I will take Jake. Awesome.
All right. So let's do a quick run through of both, and we'll leave it up to the participants who want to chime in. Who's got the better team?
Well, hang on. Before we do that, because I've got names still written down here.
Okay. You want to do like an honorable mention thing? Go ahead.
So, did you have anybody? I had Norm Van Brocklin at QB, but that was
I have him at quarterback also.
All right, so running back. Who else did you have at running back for honorable mentions?
I have Keith Byers.
Yep.
Herschel Walker.
Herschel, yes.
It was actually between Herschel Walker and Waters for me when I was trying to think of a modern day guy I wanted. But again, I took Waters because he was a better out of the backfield catching the ball. But there was also Keith Byers, who wasn't as good as a running back, but was great catching the ball.
Play everything. Yeah.
And you never want to be in front of him when he's lead blocking.
Yep.
Just ask Harry Carson.
And we mentioned Deuce, but I also had Tim Brown written.
Deuce.
So Timmy Brown, old school guy. Before Wilbert, there was Tim Brown.
And let's not forget Heath Bar Sherman.
And Heath Barr. And Sir Ron Stacy. No, sir.
Sir Ron Stacy. Yeah, man, I was stoked when they picked him, and he did absolutely nothing.
No. But remember that Chip Kelly offense year, though? There was like any running back we took off the bench could run like 1,000 yards. Bryce Brown, remember him?
Bryce Brown, yep.
Flash in a pan. Corey Clement.
The guy in the Super Bowl, what's his face? Guy who really was really a key reason why the Eagles won the Super Bowl in 2017.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name. Why am I forgetting his name?
I just said it 3 times. Corey Clement.
Clement, thanks. You said it 3 times.
Blunt. Yeah.
I was talking over, I didn't hear you.
Corey Clement or LeGarrette Blunt. Jason.
Oh, yeah, Blunt too. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then Macklin for wide receivers.
Yep, I have him on there. I have also Alshon Jeffrey.
Yep.
And Irving Fryer.
God, he played with some bad. He was probably.
Well, he was also towards the end of his career, but even with the Patriots, he played with bad quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah. But
Tony Eason and
Eagles were so bad with Fryer.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
He was all they had, and he was on his last leg of his NFL career.
Yeah. Poor guy.
But he caught the ball, which was something that none of our wide receivers ever did when he played.
No. Tight ends.
Another guy, by the way, Calvin Williams, as an honorable mention.
Yep. 100%. I almost knocked over my stand here. So tight ends, Goddard and.
Oh, the guy I was trying to get you to think of, the other Hall of Famer. You want to give you another guess?
No, I still can't think of him, but there's one more tight end as well.
Oh, there is. All right. Well, I know what you're talking about. The guy that played with McNabb.
Yeah, Chad Lewis.
Yeah, that's a good guy. Yep. But the Hall of Famers, Pete Peels. Yep.
2 Hall of Fame Petes.
Yep. Retzlaff and Peels. I can't remember who played before who, but they were right around the same era at least. By the way, we could have also picked Mike Ditka.
Yeah, Ditka. Yep. Tight end.
Was built. And actually, offensive lineman, now I think about it, you could have picked John Madden.
That's true. He was an Eagle. Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. I don't know how good of a player he was. He really was more well known for coaching than playing. He didn't play that long.
Another honorable mention I had at guard was Ron Baker. Played from 80 to 80.
Yeah. I remember Ron Baker.
Like all of those guys were kind of overachievers.
I'll give you another one, offensive line, Jamal Williams.
Yes.
Center?
Jamal.
Wasn't it Williams?
No.
Did I have his last name wrong? It was Jamal. He played for he was McNabb center.
Yeah, he was after Fraley.
God, wasn't it Jamal Williams?
No, he has 2 names. His first name and last name start with J.
What the heck? Hang on. Let me he played in the he was on the 2004 Super Bowl team. For some reason, Williams doesn't sound right.
No, it starts with.
So let me get this right.
TikTok.
I know. Sorry.
Entertain the fans.
Actually, freaking Hank Fraley was the starting.
Jamal Jackson.
Jamal Jackson. Thank you. That's what I was thinking of. Yes.
Yeah,
right.
That's it.
That was my other guy.
Yeah, so what's your starting lineup?
All right, starting lineup. Here we go. We have starting at quarterback Randall Cunningham, backed up by Michael Vick, and backed up by Nick Foles. Go ahead, your quarterbacks.
Jalen Hurts, Donovan McNabb, Ron Jaworski.
Damn. Got to give you the edge. You have the edge there. What's that?
I should have gotten Foles in that draft, in that round that you took him. That's the one pick I feel bad about. All right, running backs.
Then you would have had all the titles on your team.
Yes.
Running backs: Saquon Barkley, Wilbert Montgomery, and Ricky Waters.
It's a good stable of running backs. LaShawn McCoy, Brian Westbrook, Charlie Garner, and Hall of Famer Steve Van Buren.
I have to give you the edge on that. I got to give you the edge. So Matt, I would say he's up 2-0. Close though, but up. We'll give. So I'm going to go tight end now. I have just 2. Zach Ertz and Jackson. What's that?
Yeah, and Keith Jackson, right?
Keith Jackson. Yeah, those are my 2 tight ends.
Well, I'd give you the edge on that. I've got Brent Selleck and Pete Retzlaff, but Zach Ertz, I think, was clearly the best Eagles tight end.
Yeah. And Jackson had tremendous ability, just not a good quarterback really throwing to him. I mean, good, but not a great quarterback.
Yeah. No, Ertz is probably going to end up being in the Hall of Fame as well.
Ertz is borderline. I mean, he's going to have probably another one good year. Is he still with Washington?
Yeah, he had 65 catches last year.
Yeah, if he has one more, 800-yard, 8-touchdown season, he's borderline, I think. All right, let's go to wide receiver. I have Mike Quick, Devontae Smith, Fred Barnett, and Tommy McDonald.
That's good. That's really good. I have A.J. Brown, Harold Carmichael, and Deshaun Jackson. That's a wash, I think. I don't know.
Probably a wash. I mean,
Mike Quick was
Jackson pick might put you over the top because you have a lethal speed guy down the field that I don't necessarily have.
That was Mike Quick, though. Mike Quick was tall.
Well, he was tall and fast. He wasn't Deshaun Jackson fast, but he was fast.
He was fast, but you couldn't shut Mike Quick out of a game.
No, because he was big. He could body off. Jackson couldn't do that. And he was much better red zone threat than Deshaun.
Yeah, I think it's a wash. I think it's
a wash.
Yep.
Very wash. Let's go O-line. I think I pretty much clearly have a better offensive line. I have Lane Johnson, Jason Peters, Brandon Brooks, Landon Dickerson, Jason Kelsey, Al Weisert, Bobby Brown, Cam Jurgens, Vaitai, and Al Weisert. I'm sorry, and Ron Heller, rather.
Yeah, 3 of those positions are untouchable. They're the best ever. Jason Peters, Jason Kelsey, and then Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson and Jason Peters, there's no argument. They're the best tackles that the Eagles have ever had. So I go second tier. Here's the next best tackles the Eagles ever had with John Ryan and Trey Thomas and Jordan Mailata, whose career is still early. So, he might become the great tackle.
Potentially supersede Jason Peters. Maybe.
Yep. He's got a shot. Chuck Bednarik, Hall of Famer. So he gives me some push there. But Todd Harriman's left guard. That's a great pick.
Really good pick.
Really solid player.
Yep.
And then, the rest of my guys aren't really on the same tier as your backups. Jermaine Mayberry, David Alexander, Mekhi Becton. They're kind of small sample size. Jerry Sizemore is probably my next best pick as I'm looking at my subs. But, I would give you the +1 in offensive line. Maybe a +2.
Yep. And then, again, it's kind of a coin flip between these 2 guys. One guy did it in the Super Bowl, though, and is more clutch for sure, is Elliott. But Akers is still the all-time points leader for the Eagles history.
I've never seen Jake Elliott pull off any trick plays, though.
No, Akers was good at that.
Akers would be running. He'd be running. He'd be catching passes. He did all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, and they both made clutch kicks in their careers. But Elliott, I think, is better in the clutch. I think he's proven that.
Older, 61 yards against the Giants.
But he still has not missed a field goal in playoffs yet, which is really a pretty good stat to think about. So, that's our all-time Eagles offensive rosters. Let us know what your thoughts are. Put them down in the comments. We'll take a look at them. We're going to go defense next week. So that's going to be even more fun than offense.
I think the defense, if we actually played a game with rosters against each other, the defense is going to win the game.
Yeah.
No matter what you pick or what I pick, the defense is going to make a play to win this fanciful game that we're talking about. There's so many defensive players.
Yeah.
That list is going to be deep.
Eagles have had such great defensive players. So that's going to be a lot of fun to do and do next week. So we'll be back next Wednesday, more than likely, to do that. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the show. And with that, go Birds.
Go
Matt and
Birds.
I will be at the Eagles this year. Exciting times. Fly, Eagles, fly. And we'll see you next time. Philadelphia Eagles Talk with Geoff and Matt. Take care. See you next time.